Good morning. Welcome to Course in Miracles, lesson 87. Still doing reviews, and today's lessons are 73 and 74. Number 73, I will there be light. I will use the power of my will today. It is not my will to grope about in darkness, fearful shadows, and afraid of things unseen and unreal. Light shall be my guide today. I will follow it where it leads me, and I will look only on what it shows me. This day I will experience the peace of true perception. These forms of this idea would be helpful for specific applications. This cannot hide the light I will to see. You stand with me in light. Johnny, Joey, Susie, say your name. In the light, this will look different. Lesson 74. There is no will but God's. I am safe today because there is no will but God's. I can become afraid only when I believe there is another will. I try to attack only when I'm afraid, and only when I try to attack can I believe that my eternal safety is threatened. Today I will recognize that all this has not occurred. I am safe because there is no will but God's. These are some useful forms of this idea for specific applications. Let me perceive this in accordance with the will of God. It is God's will you are his son, state the name, and mine as well. This is part of God's will for me, however I may see it. So again, use the I will there be light in the morning, and use there is no will but God's in the afternoon. And I'm just going to go forward and read Tina Spalding's channelings first. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. We thank you again for joining us today in this review period, all of which are important. You revisit ideas introduced to you with a little embellishment on concepts related to these ideas. You educate yourselves. You learn new thoughts and new ways to see things. When you perceive yourself as unfairly treated in the world, you essentially say God is attacking you, and you should get something different than what you have. When you see an event in the world and say that should not be happening, essentially you play God. You decide with your very small understanding of reality that you know better than what is. For example, when you see being suffering, you may say, this should not happen. This cannot be the will of God. This would be a cruel God if this was being allowed to happen. In truth, what is happening is. You are free to choose whatever you want to do by that God, and you experience and witness what you have the freedom to miscreate or create by yourselves. When you miscreate repeatedly, you suffer each time. When you suffer repeatedly, you begin to pay attention to what you're doing. The first few times you suffer not so much. If you see a pattern of behavior in you and its consequence result in the world, you would begin to associate your decisions with your own suffering. You understand you give yourself the same gift or result each time. You have the free will to choose differently. You have free will to choose what you want to do, what you want to believe, what you want to worship, and what you want to value. You have free will to do all of those things because you are loved. You are given free will by that which you would call God to choose again. That is what all of you are doing. You, after many years of having your free will to choose whatever you wish, choose to come here and hang out with us. This is a very clever thing to do. You have finally decided there is perhaps something you do not understand, something you do not know. You do well to learn some new things, ideas, and perspectives. We applaud you for coming here today to learn those new things. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we will see you for more instructions tomorrow. When we are living this life and we are repeating the same lessons and the same thoughts over and over, how often do we say, the same thing keeps happening? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing. And then we suddenly may have a revelation that we want to dig deeply enough to find out where that trigger is, or where that common denominator is. And the only way we can find out when we look for those dark corners, when we are looking for those secrets, is to turn on the light. And so when we will there be light, we can get those aha moments of, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was doing that. Oh my goodness, I finally understand, whatever it happens to be. Suddenly you can see things from a very different perspective. We get caught up in the habitual responses that we create. And so if someone acts some way and they create a feeling of attacking you, that they were attacking you, you then look for them to attack you again. We never pass it off as a one-time thing. We always look to validate that this is what they were doing. But what happens when we do that is we start expecting it. And then we start behaving in accordance with the fact that we're expecting to be attacked. And so our defense mechanisms come up, effective or ineffective. And then we can't understand why we are repeating the same patterns. When we turn on the light, when we will there be light, we can suddenly go, oh my goodness, I didn't know they were just trying to communicate their love in this way. I didn't know that they were doing the same thing that I was doing. And then you can begin to truly walk through life with the light on, so you can see where you're going and you can avoid some of those missteps, and you can understand that everybody's really doing the best they can. And this is when, if you can look at someone, even if you are mortal enemies, for lack of a better term, I will stand with you in light. I stand with me in light, and use their name. That's so powerful. And when you begin to see that we are all aspects of the light, you have to see things differently. There is no will but God's. So if we understand that and we look at what's happening in the world, then we have to understand that we are not looking at things accurately or in the right light. So if I keep trying to get a job at whatever place, and I keep not being hired, I need to look at the lesson. It may not necessarily mean that I'm not supposed to have the job, but I may need to come at it from a different angle. Maybe I'm walking into this with a certain perception. Maybe I'm expecting not to get the job. And so I go into an interview, for example, and I blow it because I'm defensive and I'm talking pessimistically, and I'm radiating energy that says, you don't want to hire me. I know you're not going to hire me. So why am I bothering with this? As opposed to when you go in and you are aligned with the will of God, which is your divine will. It is that heart of heart feeling. You walk in and you know it's the right thing. And if it is not this job, it will be a different job. There is no one person, place, or event in this world that is the answer to you. Possibilities are infinite. And so if one path does not lead to the success of something that you feel very passionately about, then try another path, or try the same path another way, but do not allow yourself to drop your dreams, to let go of things, and to believe that you can go against the will of God in any fashion. And so it may be that we use, let me perceive this situation, let me perceive this job interview, for example, in accordance with the will of God. And suddenly you get those aha moments. This is part of God's will for me, however I see it. One of the last things that I will say that I'm thinking of is, sometimes those really challenging situations are there for us to learn how to dig deeply enough to follow our own truth, because we may not have been doing that. And so those challenges give us the opportunity to really begin to know ourselves, because we don't know ourselves and we spend so much time denying who we are and running away from ourselves and looking for someone else outside of us to tell us we're okay. Use this time to find the light within you, to find the fact that you are okay exactly as you are, and nobody else has that judgment except you. Your judgment about you is the only one that matters, because when we love ourselves in that true light, then we extend that out to others and we treat others differently and we let them treat themselves well. Have a wonderful day. I hope you have a great deal of light in your life today. Take care. Bye.